So won't you please welcome Madlib. So welcome to New York. How uh, how often do you get here? Actually, does it still have any kind of? I mean, I know you travel the world, but does New York have like a special place for you at all anymore? I mean, you've seen so many places.
Nah, man. Nah, I'm playing. Yeah, I love New York, man. I mean, all the producers that came from here, I grew up on all that type of shit, like Large Professor, excuse me, a lot of people.
What do you remember the first time you came here as like sort of a young artist, even just sort of paying your
Yeah.
dues, coming through here in New York?
I did Bobito's spot, like that was one of the first shows I did. Eyes closed the whole time, rapping with Lupac and shit, like, the old days.
Little case of the nerves, or
Huh?
little case of the nerves. Then
Nah, I just rap like that.
yeah. What do you think? I mean, what do you think of your sort of world travels as far as like how that's influenced you? I mean, you have all of these sort of beat conductor projects where you take on like a different sound from a different part of the globe. What is it when you visit these places or just visit them through your music, through the records?
Yeah,
how
it's,
does it?
it's mainly through records because a lot of places I haven't visited, but I get bored with music, and so y'all know that already. So I just listen to all types of different things and try to find something good in every genre because it's possible.
Yeah. How did you sort of first get hip to sounds from different places?
Messing with my man Egon, we used to live in a house together, me, Wolf, Egon, and Jeff Jank, and we
Yeah.
just trade different records and music and things.
Okay. And like, what was sort of the first part of the world that sort of captivated you?
Brazil.
Yeah, I think the last time you said you did one of these was in 2002 for RBMA.
Yeah, I don't talk in front of people.
Yeah.
I don't talk around my friends. Like we got sign language and shit. Me and Kareem Riggins.
Well, we're simulcasting this on radio, so the sign language thing will go over really well. So, but yeah, in 2002, I remember you guys. It was you, Egon, Cut Chemist, a bunch of other guys coming down, and I guess you did a little bit of record shopping then too.
Yeah, that
huh?
changed my life. Like I bought 3 boxes of records.
Yeah.
First time I went out there, actually, 2 boxes didn't make it back to the U.S.
What happened?
They don't know. 2 boxes of rare joints.
Okay.
So
Maybe Egon has something to do with that. I don't know. And you spent a lot of that time in your room actually working on beats and stuff too, right?
still do. Yeah, nothing changed.
Well, you're originally from California, of course. Oxnard.
Yeah.
I'd like to revisit something, not from your past, because I know you don't like to hear your own music. You just told me that.
I don't want to hear this.
All right, but this is related to you. Just to sort of ease us into this. Let's listen to a piece of this, and you tell me what this is, and maybe you can describe what it is for everybody. All right, so what was that?
That's my pops.
And that's Otis Jackson.
Yeah, I remember looking at that record and thinking I wanted to make records and stuff.
So this is from what, the 70s?
Yeah,
Thereabouts?
74.
Yeah. This is a song that it's kind of a rare soul recording, kind of a collectible thing. When did you kind of first become aware that, your dad was doing
My pops
stuff?
had me at the studio since I was born. Like, that's why I got into music. Like, he let me go up on the controls and just mess with stuff. Engineers get mad, but he'd be like, let the brother do this. Just mess with stuff. That's how I learned.
So was there a studio in the house, or was it, yeah?
Of course. Had the tapes, the old tape machines and things.
And your mother was also down with the music in some capacity?
One time?
Your mother was also doing music?
Yeah,
in
she
some
wrote all
capacity?
his music.
Okay. What was her?
My mother
what
was
her
a
role?
pianist, like crazy pianist. She wrote all his music and stuff.
So I mean, what did it mean to you to grow up in a musical household? I mean, not just sort of learning stuff
I
immediately.
didn't think about it. You know, I'm strictly music, so it's just in me. I don't think about it.
Did you think about it in terms of just like, what you were doing as opposed to like your friends? I mean, as far as like,
Nah, I hung out with musicians too. Like, I only hung out with dudes like-minded. Everybody thought I was crazy where I lived. Now everybody likes me over there. Like,
yeah. What, I mean, was it cool to you? Like, it's kind of one of these things where, like your parents put out records, were doing cool things. Did you think they were cool when you were a kid?
yes.
You
yes,
did?
yes, yeah.
So straight up, right away, you were like, my parents
Yeah,
are cool.
they bought all the equipment for me to do what I do. Like, you know what I mean, early age.
All right, good. Because I'm just sort of wondering, like, you have kids now. Like, do your kids think you're cool?
Nah. Nah, I'm playing. Yeah, I'm the coolest in the world to my kids. Like, yeah, sure.
When did you sort of get in trouble? Like, I remember you telling me this once. You kind of got in trouble once with your pops, right? With the equipment.
Yeah.
What happened?
Nah, he bought me and Oh No this studio that we work at, and we had a party one night, and he was like, okay, y'all can do whatever y'all do, but don't sit at my table, don't sit in my chair. Like we had weed all on the table, like girls, like upstairs like that, girls up over there, and when Pops walked in, you know what happened. He walked out and talked to me outside. It was all good. He understood because he lived that life, but oh well. Got my ass beat, but it was still cool.
Well, what about when you were trying out his equipment? I feel like you had some experiments with like the styluses and had to make up your own. Is that
Yeah.
what happened with that?
I used to put little pins like under the shit, so you can just hear it without speakers or whatever. You just hear the music on the record. I still have those records. They all fucked up. But
So you put a pin instead of a record
like
player
a little,
needle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Makes sense,
I had to hear the music. That's the only way I could hear the music.
So when did let me ask you this. So Ono is your brother, right?
Yeah.
So what's your brother's government name?
You don't like that. His government name is Ooh, Michael Jackson.
So what was it like having a brother named Michael Jackson growing up?
I don't know. He was cool. I ain't worried about no names. Like we kind of the same, you know what I mean? So we got along.
So what was the first thing that drew you to music then, like that you heard that was, really inspiring to you? Was it your dad's records or was it just stuff he played?
As
in
far
the
as
house?
hip hop, Rapper's Delight, I ain't gonna front. Like Rapper's Delight was the first song I heard where I was like, oh, you can take that beat and do something over it, So I started just collecting records after that, like old records.
But at the time, and I hate to make these like generalizations in terms of like East Coast versus West Coast, but were you cognizant like that some of the records that you were into were coming from like New York versus hip hop?
Yeah,
in LA?
but I don't think about it. Other people thought about it when I was playing all that stuff. I just like what I like, and that's that. Like, because they sampling records that were recorded in the West Coast, or it don't really matter, So I just like good music. That's all.
So what were some of the artists and records that sort of inspired you besides Rapper's Delight after that?
As far as hip hop,
Yeah.
let me see. Marley Marl Productions, Paul C, rest in peace. DJ Pooh from the West Coast, Dr. Dre, the old Dr. Dre type of stuff where he was sampling breaks and shit, all that type of stuff.
Were you aware of what sampling was at that time? Did you have an idea what they were doing?
Yeah. I was sampling when I was in junior high, like me and DJ Rome's.
Okay.
DJ Rome's gave me my first sampler, like the little Casio joint.
Okay.
I walked far to just go borrow that shit just to borrow for a day and make a beat tape or whatever in a day.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, just to sort of set the stage as far as the era goes, like, how did you find out about music? I mean, how did you, I mean, there was no internet, obviously. There was no MTV Raps yet. You know, how did you find out about stuff?
Record shops.
Yeah.
I was always in record stores, and my pops had a bunch of records too. So that's my first crate. My pop's crate was my first crate.
Okay.
And that was in the crate, actually.
Oh, okay. I did a little research here. I'm going to see if I can play a piece
That was one of
this.
my first records I had.
Okay. Let me see if this plays. What would this be? So you're a kid, you're hearing this, you're hearing the JBs, stuff like this. What's going through your mind at the time?
Just funky. I was into funky shit. Ohio players, JBs, all that type of, you know, just funky shit.
And, you know, as far as the first crew goes, you mentioned Rome's, you know, was it a feeling that if you were into hip hop at the time, it was kind of like not the thing that everybody else was into yet? Or was it, you know?
Yeah, from where I'm from, dudes was shooting and gangbanging, so I was looking weird with a clock on my shit and a Bobcat hat, all that type of shit. Like, I was following Public Enemy, all that type of stuff.
I mean, you just sort of mentioned the gang activity. I mean, what was going on in Oxnard at the time?
Oh, just Mexican black crime, like black on black and Mexicans shooting each other.
Were your parents concerned about what was happening in the streets?
Nah, I ain't into that shit. I just do music, stay in my room. That's about it. Trying to live.
So how, and I know we're going a little bit biographical here, but I just wanted to get an idea of when you met Wolf, you know, how did you guys get on? Like, how did you sort of decide that?
Man, fuck Wolf. That's all.
Okay. But
Man, that's my homie. that's my homie. He set it up. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
I mean,
We used to live together. We all used to.
You've talked about that time as, you know, pretty special.
Yeah.
You know, thinking back, what are sort of some of the things that kind of stand out to you, just in terms of, I don't know,
he just allowed me to do what I want to do. He paid for, you know, I rent vibraphones and all types of instruments and things, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Anything I said I wanted to do, he was with it." Like, you know what I mean? So I just had that freedom. You know, I didn't have the money; he had the money. You know.
What was like? You mentioned the instruments, but like, what sort of stuff were you guys accumulating?
Oh man, I was doing jazz stuff. Like I started out doing hip hop stuff with him, and I was like, I just want to do jazz stuff. And I just started renting instruments, and he was with it. They didn't understand at first, but
yeah. How long did it take for him to sort of see a vision of what was going on?
I mean, he just when I said I wanted to do it, he was like, "Okay, do it," and I just did it.
When you sit down and I mean, because you still obviously do the jazz stuff, you know, yesterday's new quintet, all of these different musicians who under whose names these projects come out. What's the process like? I mean, what's your, when you sit down, how does it start? What do you usually start with?
Well, it used to be I just try to replay the records that I liked. You know, I just listen to a record and then filter the bass line out and then just play over that and then keep adding things and adding things. Then I learn to write music and then I do it different. Like, you know.
And how long did it take you to sort of, you know, build it, like one particular track usually?
I was good from the start. I mean, I'm not a soloist, but I can put things together and make something. Like, you know.
I mean, one of the things, like, especially with jazz, but I guess any instrumental music is always kind of an interaction between the players. But you're like the only player, so how do you?
That's what you think. Like, it can go anyway. Like, people think it has to be one way, but you can do it however you do it. Like,
but I'm saying, how are you able to? I mean, it's amazing. Like, how are you able to sort of like play off something that you're not necessarily hearing yet.
You know what? I don't even think about it. Like, I just do it. That's the problem. I can't articulate. I don't think about it. Like, I just do it. Like, you know.
So let's sort of say, for example, you're going to sit down and you're going to, this is a day you're going to create some music. Like, what's a typical...
Every day.
So let's say it's a typical day. What might it be like if you were going to walk us through it? Like, what would that day be like?
My day has no start because I don't really sleep too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I may sleep 2 hours a night. Like, you know what I mean? And them 2 hours might be at 3 p.m. or, I mean, it's always different. So I'm just creating music constantly, kind of. Like, you know.
Is that in the studio or at home or both?
It's at home in the studio.
How is it with the kids and like working, making music at home?
Just put them headphones on and give them the iPad, and I do what I do. You know what I mean? Like, iPad is the greatest thing. Like, as far as kids, like, whew, thank you, Steve. Like,
All right, yeah, because I mean, I can't even make a phone call or send an email when my kids are around.
Yeah, nah, I mean, they be running around, but I just shut off for some reason. Smoke some weed, shut off.
When you know,
They know I do music, so they don't mess with me too much. They cool with it, like.
yeah.
Like,
But I mean, are they curious at all yet? I mean, are
oh
they,
yeah, they're like, buy some speakers. I'm always doing shit in headphones.
Yeah.
They're like, just buy some speakers so we can hear what you're doing. Like,
And do they prefer like the sample stuff or the live stuff, or what's their, like, do they have any sort of differentiation between?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
The favorite thing they like is J-Lib shit. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I know. I'm lucky.
Yeah. Not the quad stuff yet? Are they down with
Oh
quads?
yeah, no, they love quads.
The high voice is like
Messed up all my dolls, like wrote on them and shit. I was collecting them, but
the Quasimodo dolls.
yeah.
So what did they do?
I
with the
brought them
Quasimodo?
home to just put up to collect, you know, and collect them. Shit's got writing all over them and like, arm missing. Kids, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Now you've talked about Quasimodo as far as like, you know, your sort of idea of how it came about. Can you kind of just for the sake of refreshing people's memory, can you kind of give us a quick?
It came about because I don't like my voice. When I rap, they said I sound like Barry White. So I had to like do something to make it sound where I like it. I don't like my regular voice, so I just had to zone out in many ways. You know, I don't advise this, but I took some shrooms and just bugged out and tried to think of something different, and that shit came about. But I never intended to put it out, so just did it for me to just listen to. I do a lot of stuff just for me to listen to. Like,
So did Wolf hear it or Egon heard it?
Wolf heard it, and
what did he say to you?
let's make some money.
I mean, that's
A little bit of money.
That says a lot about these guys too. That they would hear that and think that, okay, we're gonna.
I know. I was like, with that, really? Like, okay. And best-selling record. One of them.
One of them. Yeah. I'm just kind of curious because I always wondered, like, obviously that's the inception of this idea from your own experience. But like, did you ever listen to like Prince's stuff and like listen to, you know, how he did stuff with the voices? Did that have any play
There's
in
plenty of artists before all of us that did that in like the 50s, 60s and 60s and 70s. Like a lot of artists. A lot. Like I didn't start nothing. Like, Prince didn't start nothing. It was already happening.
What just while we're on the topic, real quick. I mean,
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Shit.
rest in peace, obviously. You know, have you been going through your Prince music just sort of like since like the last week and a half, just kind of going back at all? I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Tried to make a little tribute beat tape and I just made for myself. Like, yeah, crazy stuff.
wow.
Yeah, I love Prince.
Which albums or which tracks like sort of have been your favorites? I'm just wondering.
I mean, the early stuff. '89 and before.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
Well, a lot of us. I mean, you know.
Ballad of Dorothy Parker, Lady Cab Driver, Controversy album, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely. And did you, when you made your beat tape, did you sample Prince's stuff? Or
Yeah,
was
it's
it-
all Prince shit.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, you know, you can slide that to me later.
Yeah,
All
you,
right, cool.
you can have it. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, do you think of yourself as one of these guys who's keeping sample-based music alive? I mean, you know, people like to sort of peg you that way.
I
but-
started out doing that, and that's just what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of who's suing me or who, whatever, that's what I grew up on. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I also make music too, so it doesn't really matter.
But I mean, you know, what do you think the appeal is of sampling? I mean, I
For
love
me,
it as a listener.
For me, I just
yeah.
like that certain vibe from the '60s, '70s, and the '80s. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Like, I like a certain sound, and that's what I deal with. That's
Yeah.
what I grew up on. So
Yeah.
everybody don't have to like it, but that's just what I do.
I mean, you know, it's like you said, sort of suggested. I mean, I'm sure it's caused you some headaches too.
Yeah, but it's hard to sample and it's hard to make music, so it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as you try to do both, it really
Yeah.
don't matter. Like,
Let's
they try to act like sampling's not music, but it's hard to do correctly. Like,
let's play a little something real quick. Let me see. How do we want to do this? Should we play this one or should we play the track? You give me some feedback.
I don't
huh?
hear either. you do
All right, so I'm going to do this against your wishes. Let's hear a little something just to give us a frame of reference of some of the stuff that you've worked on. All right, so you were making some motions while we were listening to that. Just what was going through your mind hearing this again, just in terms of like what you did with this?
I just wanted to leave it the same. Dudes get mad. I'm like, that dude just loop that shit up. That's my sound. Like, I'm a loop digger, so I just want to leave it like that. Just make it dirtier than what it was. People don't really understand. Some people don't really understand that.
Yeah, but I think you're being a little bit modest here too, because that's not just looping. I mean,
I chopped it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm the loop digger, so what you expect, man?
Yeah.
Like, go listen to that if you want to hear that. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I just, what I love about what you do is like there are these little chops, like you suggest, like you just mentioned, just sort of intermingling with the rest of the loop. I mean, you know, plenty of people do this and do it well, but I mean, is there a internal rhythm, you know, it's in your head as far as like where you decide to place things? You know, I know you don't.
it's natural.
Yeah.
Like, if you sit there and think about it too much, your shit probably whack. Like, you just have to be natural and the roots of the shit. You just do it and that's that. Like, you know. You sit there and polish your shit for a week. I don't know about all that shit. Like, that's cool for y'all, but I don't know about
What, do you feel like, I mean, this is Junie Morrison, by the way, which is,
respected Junie Morrison.
yeah, which he was one of the
Parliament,
pioneers,
Funkadelic,
yeah.
yeah.
Ohio players.
Yes, damn funk.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, you hear this track to me and you're able to hear something, you know, what I like about, you know, the No More Parties track, obviously, that, you know, you're taking a loop, but then there's also, like when he sings Los Angeles, I mean, he's basically the story of the song is like somebody who meets a groupie, you know, figures out like that person actually meant something to him later. So there is this like emotion behind it. Do you think at all even about the emotion of the songs like that you sample? I mean, what's in them? I mean, how much do you
it's
listen
all
to them?
emotion. I don't really think too much. It's just emotion. Like, I don't think about it. That's the problem. Like, I'm my dad's son, so it's music. Like, you know.
Okay, so you've said in the past. Like,
I actually did every time I sample a record, I do the whole record. Like, I sample off the whole record.
Yeah, different pieces. You mean?
No, I mean I made beats out the whole record. Like,
Okay, what do you
and
mean?
they just picked that beat. Like, you know.
Oh, you mean, well, explain to me. What do you mean? Do you mean you
If I
make
sample a record, I usually make beats out the whole record while it's right there.
the whole album?
Yeah,
Oh,
every
okay.
best piece of the record, and just move on after that.
So there might be more tracks than
Oh, I got a whole, I got like
just
10,
off of this.
10, yeah.
Okay.
I don't mean it's gonna come out. It just means I
Yeah.
did that. I do that.
As a form of practice, or as just something?
Just shit I want to hear.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when you sit and when you sit in a session, you said that this is kind of a meditative thing for you. Is it meditation for you? Yeah.
Yeah, I shut off from the world. Like, it's just something you can't try to do. It's just something that happens. Like, you don't know. That's my life. It's a blessing and a curse because my time is spent doing that. But I also have a family and things. You know. But,
Well, thank God for the iPad then. Yeah. All right. So.
actually, that beat was made off the iPad.
Okay. Really.
Yeah.
Now, I remember seeing, and maybe other people saw this on social media, there was like a picture of Kanye with the Beat CDs, and it was like, thanks for the Beat CDs.
He didn't like them beats. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Kanye sent him a bunch of crazy Quasimodo shit. Like,
Yeah.
but I heard they was battling back and forth like for a couple hours, like over the Beat CDs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, so you remember what's on that Beat CD?
Oh yeah, 6 CDs.
6 CDs of
Yeah,
Beats.
Gibbs took all of them. He rapped over everything. Kanye waited too long. Gibbs rapped over everything. Like,
So that basically, those Beat CDs is what became Pinata, is what you're saying?
nah, the new
one.
the new bandana joint. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
What is it about Gibbs that is?
He's
was
a
dope
good
to you?
rapper. He's a good rapper. Just like my cousin, we just get along. Like, might shoot you, might hug you. Like, I don't know.
So when is the next record that you guys are working on? How close are you guys to it?
Ain't no telling. I did that with Doom. Ain't no telling. Like, I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
just we got tracks recorded, but I don't mean they gonna come out. Like,
Yeah. I mean, but you're
I
cool
got
with
20
that.
tracks with Doom. I don't mean they gonna come out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you're cool with that though. I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like you have this sort of, Zen quality about you where it seems like it's just whatever comes, and when it happens, it happens.
My bad. Yep.
Now, Madlib Invasion,
Yeah.
since when? How long has Madlib Invasion been happening?
Since I started making beats. As far as Madlib Invasion, but the record label,
Yeah.
like, it started like 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, around 5-6 years
Yeah.
ago. So what was important to you as far as establishing that label, your own independent imprint?
Just putting out stuff I want to hear, and it has nothing to do with anybody else, basically.
Now, when you sort of go through, history of independent labels, I mean, I know you have like great reverence for labels like Strata East, Tribe Records.
Yeah. They didn't do too well.
They were artist-controlled endeavors.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah. I mean,
I'd rather have that than like, big paycheck. I get checks anyways, but I'd rather have that control.
Yeah. So do you have, like, when you and Egon are sitting down and sort of like figuring out like where it's gonna go in terms of what I don't know, for lack of a better word, like a mission statement or something like that. I mean, is there any kind of, do you think of it in terms of lineage, in terms of like this history? I mean,
Not really. Not really. I just do the music, and some of it comes out. Stuff that I think should come out.
so tell us what is coming out on that imprint that you're working on now.
Let's see. I got that new Bandana album coming out with Gibbs. I got a producer series with different producers from around the world, like Ono, Pete Rock, Gaslamp Killer, RJ from Slum Village, Evidence from Dilated Peoples,
Yeah.
bunch of people, young dudes that y'all don't know about.
Now, let me play just something real quick from this group. I understand you're a fan of this group and you may have collaborated with them a little
Who
bit.
is it?
I'll say, so what is that we just listened
That's
to?
my homies
Who is that?
from Germany, Embryo,
Now,
60s, 70s rock, jazz band, psychedelic rock, jazz, soul, everything.
so what is it about Embryo that kind of caught your
They
ear?
like all types of music, and they put it all in one thing.
Yeah. And you spent some time with them as well, working.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I got like 10 albums. I got 10 hours of music recorded with them. Like, I'm just on the drums. We all switch from instruments, and we just bug out.
And where was this? When did this
Germany.
happen? In Germany. That's just where the band is from, right?
Like 5 years ago. Yeah.
So when you're in that type of scenario, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a musician. I'm not a producer, you know.
Oh, it was like looking, dudes are my idols. Like, I dig for records, so you know what I mean. Like, these dudes are my idols, and I'm in there playing with them, and they're
Yeah.
just showing me what they went through and all that type of stuff. Drinking mad wine with them, smoking trees, and, you know.
Yeah. So Embryo, one of your musical heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go through a couple different things and just get your.
They got
impressions
mad
of stuff.
styles, though. That's just one style. Like,
Well, I mean, that album is interesting because I guess it's kind of, I mean, I'm not that familiar with the group, to be honest. So it's kind of a Far Eastern style that they're exploring. It's a German
they
band.
went to India and just sat with all the musicians, and
Yeah. And they're also singing in English on that track, too. So it's kind of just an amalgamation of a lot of different styles. Let's listen to this and give me what your impressions are. We're just going to go through a couple different tunes and sit here and listen.
that sound like Chameleon.
It does
Herbie
a little bit,
Hancock.
yeah.
He's trying to bite. You know, that's
So-
the one where he's trying to bite some shit.
So that was Cesar Mariano, right?
Married to
You tell me.
Ellis Regina.
Oh, for real? Oh, okay. And is a Brazilian artist in the Brazilian record.
Oh yeah. Produced a lot of a lot of Brazilian artists. Arranged their records and played on them too.
When you hear this, what goes through your mind besides it's funky?
Just feels good. Me and Dilla used to bump that whole record. Like, just that's just one little piece. You gotta hear the whole album. Like, just that, you know, it's good shit. Just
How-
listen to or loop up.
How often, when you guys hung out, like, was it just listening to records like this and stuff? I mean,
Yeah, we'd either be digging or listen to each other's beats or record shopping, or listen to each other's beats or record shopping, or listen to each other's beats, and that's about it. Smoke, go to the club, go to strip club, whatever.
what do you, I know people ask you about this all the time, but I mean, what do you think what is your impression of Dilla as a person that maybe people don't
He's
necessarily talk about enough?
He's a fellow alien. Like, he's a fellow alien. It's hard to explain. The fellow alien, musical cousin. And
Yeah. What's the thing that
he was the king, though. What I'm saying, we was still musical cousins.
I mean, what's the thing that you think he took from being a friend of his, just being
he's
a
just
colleague of his?
Just
as
a
far
cool
as-
dude, man. He's a nice dude, and we like the same type of music, which was probably all types of music. Like, you know, I give him a crate, he give me a crate. Like, you know, I gave him the loop for Lightworks, he gave me the loop for that, or whatever. Like,
Let's keep going and listen to a couple more things. This is something I would imagine is dear to your heart.
Sun, RZA, cosmic music.
So who was that?
Sun, RZA, Sun Ra, the king.
Now, when we were listening to that, you said a couple things. What was your observation? What hit
What'd
you?
I say?
You said John Gilmore.
Oh, John Gilmore on the horn, king. John Coltrane used to study with him because he thought he was better than him. Like, enough said.
And the clavinet.
That song is like from what, 60?
Yeah.
It's the first use of the clavinet I know. Like, clavinet electric keyboard. He was one of the first to use electric keyboards.
When you sit back and you listen to Sun Ra, I know you're a huge Sun Ra head. I mean, was your dad playing Sun Ra back in the house back in the day? When did you start getting into Sun Ra?
Just buying records. I just buy weird covers, look at the cover, and if it's weird, I'm gonna buy it. Like, look at the instruments, like, basically.
But did you know stuff about, just the sort of backstory
I
of
know
him
about
at that
Sun
point?
Ra until saw like a documentary on him in like 99 or 98, something like that. And from there, I'm right there with him. Like,
And Spaces the Places, if you saw the film and everything,
Yeah,
that was like a big,
yeah.
was that a big moment for you? I mean,
It's because he was so huge musically. Like, it's like every style, not too many people did that.
you mean it just in terms of just the jazz stuff, the out stuff, the more groove
And the way he
stuff.
lived,
Yeah.
outer space ways,
Like, are you gonna get a house with aluminum foil out front at some point?
I'm just get fat like him. Just kick it.
Means you're living well then. Okay, so let me play like one more thing, and
Yeah, go buy some Sun Ra records.
all right. I'm not sure if it's this one or this one. Do you remember what this is? Who is this?
R.O.B. Rob. Funky
And-
Rob boy
And this is what
from Africa. That's
Yeah.
I think that's who's that?
is it Nigerian or no?
That's Billy's single Michael Jackson. Convict. Man, he's a dad of a famous singer. What the fuck is his name?
On this is on this record.
Akon. That's Akon's dad.
Akon's dad is on this record?
That's Akon's dad.
For real?
Rob, yeah.
Wow.
Rob is Akon's dad.
For real?
How come he didn't do that type of shit?
Wow. Okay. So were you hip? Were you?
I'm just playing.
Were you just an Akon fan, and then you?
Nah, Egon told me.
Yeah.
Now getting records.
I mean, Egon's obviously had a big sort of. You guys are friends going way back since the Stones Throw days. I mean, he's worked with you closely over all these years. I mean,
Man, fuck Egon. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's my brother right there.
I mean, he kind of hip. He got you.
It's my brother. He looked out for me.
He got you turned on to the wine game now and everything.
Yeah, I ain't drinking Ripple. I'm drinking that Gush.
So what's
Sham Pipple.
What's the
Fresh
champagne?
sample. Fresh sample. Champagne and Ripple mix. Sham Pipple. Y'all don't know about it.
So what's deeper, the wine game or the record game?
Oh, that's the same. It's equal.
How so?
It's equal because it's all deep. It's always rare shit. Like, all the time.
Now, do you feel like your wine game is like on par with your record game?
I'm still minor. Like, I'm not that great at it yet, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
I let him pick it out for me, and I get the boxes sent to the crib. Like,
Okay. So, because you have like reputedly you have like 4 rooms of records, right?
Yeah.
Or 4 different rooms of records. Yeah. So, are you gonna have to buy a new house?
I need like 10 rooms. Like,
Yeah.
that ain't enough. Like,
But are you gonna have like a wine wing then too, like for the wine?
if I make some money.
Yeah. We'll work on it. Now I was pulling something else and you grabbed this record.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite labels in the world. I just got hip to it like 6 years ago.
Okay, now
Best jazz label in the world.
which label
From
is
Italy.
this?
Horror Records. They recorded all the American artists that America just like, fuck y'all. Like, and he took like, come on, let's make some money. Do what you want to do.
So what is this record? Do you remember? What is it?
This is Stafford James. He played with Woody Shaw. He's a bassist and a bunch of people.
Okay, so let's take a quick listen to this and tell me.
Dope ass beat, right?
Tell me
here.
what your impressions are when you hear it. So why do you like the piano out of tune?
Cause I don't like shit too perfect. I like I like some human mistake in my shit. Like, if it's too perfect, I ain't really with it. Like, if it's too clean, I ain't really with it. Like, if it's too polished, I don't really like it. Like, that's just me. That's my ears. You know?
I mean, did anybody ever give you that feedback, early in your career, in terms of like the music you were making, and how did that sort of?
People complain all the time. I just do what I want to do, regardless, because it's for my health. So I don't really care about what people say.
I mean,
I thank the people that like it, but I don't care about your criticism because I know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing, so I don't really care.
yeah. I mean, are you? I mean, not to get too technical, but I mean, are you burning stuff onto? I mean, remember in 2002 when you sat and you talked to us about this stuff, everything was kind of going to like a cassette and just being mastered off of that. I mean, have you embraced some technological
My music
change
sounds
since
like
then?
that anyway.
Yeah.
Nah, I just do what I do. Like,
Yeah.
let me do what I do, and you can do your thing. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be me. I'm gonna be the last dude doing what I do. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely. I have a couple of questions that have been submitted through the
shit.
magic of this thing called the internet.
What's
So
that?
it's this thing that
Yeah.
you don't have to
I
worry
don't really
about.
fuck with it.
Thankfully,
I don't really mess with it. I don't have Twitter fingers. I don't really do all that shit. Like, fighting online like you tough. Like, I don't do all that type of shit.
Twitter fingers. I like
Yeah,
that.
I don't do that shit.
Well, some people do have Twitter fingers, and they have a couple questions they want to ask you. So I'm just going to read a couple before we take some questions from
Okay.
people in this room.
Alrighty.
Killian, at Killian, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Who's your favorite Indian musician?
R.D. Berman. R.D. Berman.
R.D. Byrne?
Yes, sir.
And for those of us who are not familiar with that person, what is it about?
He gets funky, and he stays traditional too. And I like people that switch it up. So you get bored if you don't switch it up. Like,
Instrumentalist or?
yeah, he's an instrumentalist. He's an arranger. He's all that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And how'd you get hip to him?
Probably Egon, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So how do you get your records from India then usually? Do you see individual sellers or do you?
They got records in L.A. Like,
Yeah.
I went to Germany and went to the spot called Demon Fuzz. They had like 4 boxes. I bought them all. Like, went to, I haven't been to India yet. You probably ain't even got the records out there. Like,
Yeah,
So,
perhaps not. Are you
yeah.
planning to go to India at some point?
nah, not.
Just cool with the records?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to. I love
Yeah.
the food and the people.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from at Goddamn Chan. Peace to Goddamn Chan. What's some advice you were given along the way that has stuck out and really helped you?
Do your taxes. Straight up.
Who had that piece of advice for you?
Who was I think it was Broadway from L.A. Broadway used to produce for Loud Records and stuff.
Okay, okay. That's an excellent piece of advice right there.
People still don't do it.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think that is?
They think they just do your taxes, man. It's hassle, you know what I mean?
Okay. Next question from at DJ Bob Sacramento. I don't know if this is supposed to be Sacramento or Sacramento, but uh, what is your favorite J Dilla memory?
Just first meeting him and like the acknowledgement he gave me, and I was trying to tell him what he was, but he was just, you know, telling me, I love your music. I was like, nah. We just kept pointing at each other, and like, from there, we was just cool.
Was that upon first meeting or
Yeah, it was in L.A. Like,
all right, next question is from JV Refill.
okay.
Do you have any more Quasimodo projects in the
No.
works?
No. I don't really like to rap no more, man. Like, I ain't got nothing to say. I didn't say what I said.
That's not you, though. That's Quas.
We ain't got nothing to say. No. I don't even fuck with Quas no more. Fuck that nigga. Like, yeah,
When's the last time you saw Quas?
I don't fuck with Quas, man. He took my last girl, so I ain't.
I mean, what is Quas able to say that Madlib cannot? Like, what can Quas get away with that Madlib cannot?
I think he parties more than me, you know. Be messing with hoes and shit. Not women, just hoes. Like, you know, like, hitting niggas with bricks. You know, same old.
So Quas is retired as of this moment right now.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. And how does Quas feel about that?
I have no idea. I don't talk to the nigga.
So at Celestiphone asks, you've mentioned an upcoming
Who?
At Celestiphone, you've mentioned an upcoming Beat Conductor album with industrial samples. How'd you know I was going to ask a question? Did you read this? Any news on that?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
I don't know if Celestiphone's going to be happy with
It's
that
coming.
vague of an answer.
It's coming. I don't really know about dates when records come out. I don't know when they. Maybe a year, maybe a month. I don't know.
All right. So by industrial, what does that mean? Industrial.
Like Throbbing Gristle, and that's enough said.
Well, how long have you been into that sound?
Since I've been sampling. Yeah. It's in my beats.
I mean,
certain beats.
Yeah, it's funky for sure.
Yeah, it's like
You know?
hip hop. So, I mean, if it's funky, I'm gonna use it. I don't care. Found some good country shit too. Like,
Oh, word? Country?
Charlie Pride breaks.
For real? Charlie
Yeah,
Pride
I
breaks?
was like,
You just started a mad Discogs
I'm
frenzy
sure there's
for Charlie
something in
Pride.
everything,
Charlie
so
Pride,
I'll
yeah.
find something. Yeah.
Shout out to everybody on Discogs right now looking for Charlie Pride breaks. I think we're gonna try to maybe take some questions from some of the folks in the room, if you happen to have a question.
There, should we ever expect a Russian beat production tape?
Oh yeah. I went out there last year and bought everything, so it's coming, but I don't have dates on things. It's already done, but I don't know when it's coming out. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I got a question. Checking. I'm faded right now.
Hey, give me some. Give me
I got
some.
a water bottle right here.
Give me some.
Number one spot to eat in Oxnard.
Man, I ain't been to Oxnard since. Actually, Taco de Mexico.
Where's that? Is that Oxnard?
It's in Oxnard. Yeah.
Where?
Taco de Mexico on Saviors Road. You get killed fucking around.
One more question. What do you think about the new school beat season that's coming out right now?
I love it.
Or
I love the young dudes. Like, I love it all. I don't love it all, but I love some of it.
any particular artists that you can name?
Actually, not really. I have some dudes under my wing, but I still ain't got no names. Barely remember my name.
Is that the?
But it'll be in the series, all the young dudes coming out on my shit.
But you are releasing records by some of these younger.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Releasing.
But they don't have names yet.
They will.
Okay, good.
In time.
What's up, man?
What's up, bro? What's up, homie?
I was just curious to know. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you work out of. I'm not mistaken. That's what it is. It's a Freemason castle.
Yeah, I think so.
I just wanted to know what was the reason why you decided to purchase
Cheap
the
rent.
castle to work
Cheap
out.
rent.
What?
Cheap rent. It's not. I don't own the shit. I just rent and shit. Like,
You still work out of that studio?
yes, sir. I've done half my shit in there.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on through. You can see me over there. Like everybody see me. In the hood.
Hey, man.
Hello, sir.
If you could produce an album or make a piece, sorry, fade it out. If you can make a BCD, like you did one with Prince, what other legendary artists would you want to do an entire album with? Like maybe a Stevie Wonder, Madlib album, something like that.
I mean, I usually do that when I make beats. I'll just pull out the whole section of the artist and just make a whole, just try to sample everything I like from the artist. I've done that with like Rick James, Steve Coon, whoever. Like whenever I pull out a record, I usually sample the whole record, but I don't mean it's gonna be out there like that. Like, you know. Thank you, sir. Hello. Hello. One more time. I'm sorry. Bandana. It's about pimping, drug dealing, killing, realizing you shouldn't be killing, you know, that type of stuff. Oh, I wrote all that shit. Like, I wrote all the lyrics. No, I'm playing. Nah, I don't. I let him do what he do, and I do what I do. I don't. If I'm messing with an artist, I'm not gonna tell him what to do. Otherwise, I'm not gonna work with him. Like, you have to know what you're doing, and trust me to know what I'm doing too. So.
Do you have some criteria, when you work with people, I don't know?
Nah, I usually work with like-minded people. You know, if we don't like a song, we just don't put it out. But I mean, we can always get an album out of something. Like, I don't really critique. If I have to critique you, I'm not gonna work with you. Like,
That's how the J-Lib album though was done, more or less.
Yeah.
Both and the Gibbs album
Yeah,
was you guys basically remotely sending stuff to one another, right?
that's how it's always been done, actually, because I'm always constantly working. I don't have time to sit there and coach you in the studio, and just do what you're doing. Let's hear what's going on.
What is or was your favorite record store in LA?
Favorite record store in LA? Probably. I don't really buy records in LA. Ain't nothing out there no more. Like, actually, like,
What about Aaron's?
Aaron's is closed.
Uh-huh.
That was my favorite store back in the days. Yes, sir. Right now I like Rockaway Records because they get a lot of rare stuff. Like,
What was it about Aaron's for you?
I was cool with all the employees and I get discounts.
Thank you.
And they had good records too. Thank you.
Hey, so out of everything you've released through the years, what's your favorite project?
Nada nunca.
What's that?
Nothing.
You don't have a favorite?
Nah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just don't have a favorite. Like, I like different things, so I can't be like, yo, this is my favorite, or this is like it's always different. Like
Fair enough.
I don't have a favorite. Yeah. What's your favorite?
Hey,
Well, hello.
How was hanging out with Quartet and Freddie?
Fortet? Oh, they're some homies. I love them. Like, yeah, we like the same type of music. Even though we do different things, we like. I'm sorry?
Have you guys spoken about working on anything?
Yes.
Does that happen?
Yeah, if I'm alive tomorrow, yeah. I don't plan ahead like that. We just, see.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
them, or?
Nah, just move on. Like, just keep moving on. Like, yeah, I don't just keep moving on. I don't want to release everything.
Do you keep them or do you delete them?
Oh, if I record something down, then I keep it. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna record it if I gotta delete.
Hi.
Hi.
You like the Bay Area, California?
Yeah, that's where my grandmama from. Oakland, East Oakland.
How do you define yourself as successful? What makes you successful?
Successful? Still struggling. I don't know. Just taking care of my family basically, and keeping a roof over my head, and doing everything I want to do in life, and not have to second think anything. Just hello.
I was hoping you could talk about your collaboration with Madlib, what that process is like.
The process wasn't really a big deal. We just hung out, went to clubs, got drunk. I'll hand him a beat CD. I'll go to sleep. He'll work on some music. He'll go to sleep. I'll wake up. I'll make some more beats, listen to what he did. We might take some shrooms together if we awake at the same time, and then listen to the music when it's done. I don't think so, because people are expecting too much and they're complaining about certain things that this Doom record's gonna have anyway, about the mastering and mixing. We like our stuff dirty, and I think people on a different level now. That was good for them, but now it's kind of different. I like to listen to the album. No, I love it. I love the new album.
I mean, do you really think so? That people would have a different
Yeah,
expectation
people
in terms?
have too many expectations, thinking it should be this or that, but it's just a continuation.
Yeah.
Really like a step above or a step lower. It's just more songs. It's not like, you know what I mean?
I mean, did you go, I mean, you explained the process, but I mean, conceptually, did you guys have like, oh, we're going to have this type of idea?
No,
or
no.
Just do the
It's all
song?
freestyle. It's not, you don't sit there and plan. It's just freestyle, and it just happens. Like, it's the best way for us. Like,
And that's more or less the same way with a lot of these collaborative projects for you, right?
yeah, luckily, yes, sir.
Yeah. Who's next?
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to say thank you. You did like a super amazing set last year at the Dilla weekend in Miami.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I wanted to know if you would sign my record for me.
No. Nah, yeah, all good, all good.
Who's next? Does anybody else have a question for Madlib while he's signing this record?
That's it? I'm out. Huh?
You got one or two
I
more.
know, well, you and Doom, you guys spent a lot of time together. I'm pretty sure everybody else would like to know this, but what's the most annoying thing that Doom would say working with you?
The most annoying thing.
Or vice versa?
Oh, maybe my blunts roll kind of crazy. For him, I ain't tripping on him. Like, he's like Bird to me, like Bird, the jazz musician. So I'm cool with everything he does. Like, I understand the little. We cool. Ain't nothing like that. Or maybe he might eat my last frozen dinner or some shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Have you thought about doing like techno? Because you were on a bill last week with 3 guys who do more like techno and house, but with like jazz influences and stuff. You played with Daphne, Floating Points and Quartet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you, I mean, you know their approach to like live sets and stuff, the kind of music they play. Have you thought about doing anything more to that side? I don't think I've heard anything from you.
Huh?
More like that.
So what is his approach to doing a live set, more or less?
Yeah. Well,
Just freestyling and playing weird shit and make people feel weird. And they want to hear Quasimodo, but I might play some crazy ass psychedelic rock shit just to fuck them up. And I'll try. I might not mix, even though I can mix very well. But I just might not mix. Fuck it. Like I'll make it like a record, like interludes and shit. Like
I mean, that's. I mean, I think part of the question also was like, you know, is that also a thing where you're dealing with expectations in terms of like people
yeah,
saying,
but I don't go by that because
Yeah.
if you know me, you know I like everything. So you might hear whatever. Like so, if you don't realize that, then that's your problem. Like,
Do you have a goal to achieve in music?
a goal to achieve in music, just be a better musician, live wise, like playing instruments and things. I'm learning to write music and things, so I just want to do that better.
Do you have any more instruments that you want to learn?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole album with just harmonica and whistling. You going on the whistle, me on the harmonica. Electric wah wah harmonica. Nah, I don't know. It's whatever. What do I? I don't think about it. It just happens. That's how my parents were, and that's how I am. Like, I got it from my parents.
Well, we look forward to the harmonica and whistling LP
the Night
forthcoming
Whistler.
from. Well, I'm sorry, what?
The Night Whistler.
The Night Whistler LP. Look for it on Madlib Invasion Recordings soon. Any closing thoughts that you have for the kind folks who stopped through here today?
Thank you for coming out, and thank you for supporting my music, whether you just listen to it or whether you buy it. If you ain't got no money, just download it. Thank you for listening, and thank you. You know.
Well, we thank you for being here, and thank you for making the music. So one more time, can we please
Thank
get
you
up for
guys.
Madlib?
Thank you.